Today I'll show you how to knit this beautiful double woven rib. Now this stitch pattern curls a bit, which is why I have this garter stitch border all the way around it. You don't need to use garter stitch, but you can also use seed stitch or any other border that you like. This is part of the Best Beginner Stitches series. To see the whole series, click on the link in the top right or in the description. I've got more details about this stitch on my website, including tips and tricks, knitting charts, and how to knit the stitch in the round. Link in the description. So I am using Paint Box Yarns Cotton DK in the color Soft Fudge and a pair of 4mm needles. So to knit double woven rib, we're going to cast on a multiple of 4 stitches plus 2. So that means you're going to start with the multiple of 4, so that could be 12, 16, or 20, and then you're going to add 2 stitches to it. So 12 plus 2 equals 14, so you would cast on 14, or 16, which is a multiple of 4, plus 2 is 18, so you could cast on 18. Or 22, which is 20, which is a multiple of 4, plus 2 is 22. So in my case, I've casted on 30 stitches here because 28 is a multiple of 4, plus 2 is 30. All right, so go ahead and cast on a multiple of 4 stitches plus 2. Now we're going to start with row 1, which is the right side. We're going to knit 2. Here we go, knit 1 and knit 2. Here we go. And then we're going to slip 2 with the yarn in front. That's what the SL2WYIF stands for, slip 2 with yarn in front. So how we're going to do this is we're going to take our working yarn and we're going to bring it up to the front of our needle as if we're going to purl. Now what we're going to do is slip the 2 stitches with our yarn in front. So yarn is already in front and we're going to slip these 2 stitches as if we were going to purl. So we're going to go into them from the top to the bottom, okay, and then just slip it right off the needle. Slip 1, and here we go, slip 2. So now we've got 2 stitches that have been slipped from our left needle to our right needle, and our yarn is in the front. So that is our SL2WYIF, slip 2 with yarn in front. Next we're going to knit 2. So we're going to bring our yarn to the back of our needle, and then we're going to knit 2. There we are. And that is our repeat. So the instructions between the asterisks get repeated. So we're going to slip 2 with yarn in front. So first we're going to bring our yarn in front and then we're going to slip these 2 stitches. So I'm going to bring my right needle into the stitch, next stitch as if to purl, and then just slip it off the needle, bring the yarn or bring the needle into the second stitch as if to purl, just like that, and slip it off the needle. And that's all there is to slipping 2 with the yarn in front. So next we're going to knit 2. So I'll bring the yarn, working yarn, to the back again, and then knit 2. There we go. And that's all there is to the repeat for row 1. Slip 2 with yarn in front. Let's bring the yarn up front, and then slip 2 as if to purl, slip 2. There we go. Bring the yarn in the back and knit 2. All right. Bring the yarn in front for our slip 2 with yarn in front, and then slip 2. There we go. Bring the yarn to the back and knit 2. Bring the yarn to the front, slip 2, bring the yarn to the back and knit 2. And bring it to the front, slip 2, bring it to the back, and knit these last 2 stitches. There we are. Perfect. So that is our row 1 of the double woven rib. So I'll turn my needle over, and row 2 is just purling all of the stitches. So that's pretty easy. Here we go. We're going to bring our needle in and purl and purl and purl. So let's work row 2 by purling all of the stitches. So I'm near the end of row 2. This is my last purl stitch. Great. And now I'm going to turn my needle over and we'll go back to the beginning of this 2-row repeat. We're going to knit 2. Here we go. Knit 2. And bring our yarn up to the front and slip 2 with the yarn in front and bring it back to the back of the work and knit 2. So that's all there is to the double woven rib. We're just repeating these 2 rows over and over again until your knitting is the length that you like. So here's a tip. As you are working the front side of your work, you'll notice that it creates a kind of rib, right? There's these 2 stitches where there's like strands of yarn in front, and then 2 stitches of knits. 2 stitches where there's strands of yarn, 2 stitches of knits, 2 stitches of strands of yarn, and on and on. So you can actually look to your knitting to tell you what to do next. So I'm on the right side. So I know that I'm going to start off by knitting 2. And then if I just look at the next 2 stitches, I can see that it has a column of these yarn strands on it. So now I know that, okay, now I need to do my slips and bring it to the back because now we have a column of knits. So I would follow what my knitting tells me. There are 2 columns of knit, so I'm going to knit it. Here we've got a column of stranded yarns, so now I'm going to bring my yarn up front and bring it to the back so I can continue that column of stranded yarns. Here's a column of knit, so I'm going to knit. And here next is a column of stranded yarns, so I'm going to continue that column of stranded yarns and slip 2 stitches, bring the yarn to the back, so I've now created another stranded yarn. So you can look to your knitting to kind of tell you what to do instead of following the row 1 and row 2 and row 1 and row 2. So this is a more intuitive way of knitting. So after knitting a couple of repeats, this is what your double woven rib will look like. Thanks for watching. This is part of the Best Beginner Stitches series. Watch the whole series here or click the link in the description. I'm Davina from sheepandstitch.com and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!